my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. They've pitted us against our Hispanic brothers and sisters. And now the blacks and the Mexicans, who should be in an alliance with each other, are at odds with each other. The Mexican people, as they are called, are the original people. They're mixed with the blood of their conquerors, as we are. But they are a part of the original inhabitants of the Western Hemisphere. And if you're a student of the culture of the native people, and you look at their art, and you look at their crafts, and you look at the arts and the crafts of our kith and kin in Africa, sometimes you can't tell the difference between Native American art and African art. Do you know why? Because we're related.
Yes, sir.
Down in Mexico, you have some huge heads of thick lip, broad nose, black people, to let you know that before Columbus came, we were here. And at the root of the culture of Olmec culture is a tie to Africa. We are a family that has been separated by time and different masters. But time again says that the black and the brown and the red must recognize their root. Even though the branch may be looking different at the root, they are one.
Yes, sir.
So we must build bridges of understanding to the oppressed peoples. I saw a Newsweek article some years ago in which the demographers, the students of population growth, said that the white population growth is approaching zero population growth, which means for every birth of a white, there's the death, so that their population remains somewhat constant. But no matter what disease is in the black and the brown, and no matter how much they have sterilized the Native American women, yet they say that the population by the year 2086, if it is unabated on the black side, that black population will either be equal to the white or superior in less than 100 years. Listen. So when you hear a racist that has no idea of a multicultural society, then that kind of mind says we must do something to keep the black and the brown and the red from uniting. We must do something to keep the black and the brown and the red from populating. We must do something to turn them in on themselves so that they will be the architects of their own self-destruction. Somebody is perpetrating a fraud around here.
Hey, what's up? Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate your support, and we have a guest star, West, West Coast Graffiti, of course. He was here last week, and we have some interesting topics to bring to you. Some debunking, a little of this, a little of that. Correct?
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. So where I am expecting another guest. He's actually from the Black community. I'm hoping he does come through. But for the meantime, I guess while we wait for him, well, I'm gonna address this comment here. They said, why do people keep saying it black people in Mexico? It is no black people in Mexico. That's a cap. And I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna highly disagree with you because there is black people in Mexico. If you look into like the states of Guerrero and Chiapas and in those areas, there is a lot of black people residing there. So that's I'm gonna debunk that right there. But what do you think about everything that's going on West Coast?
Yeah, no, I mean, well, especially this little video that you put, that was very interesting. I think you sent it to me, and I did see it, but it's crazy how you said that they are trying to, keep us apart, though, right? I mean, we all can agree that the white man wants to keep us apart from uniting.
Correct. It's divide and conquer. It's what it is. The whole, and it's the same playbook. It's the same playbook from always. Like history has always shown that they've learned, but they've mastered how to divide people in order to pretty much like overcome us. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy that at this time of age, like we still haven't learned the lesson, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sad that we're still trying to get people to understand how much better it would be to be united than it is to be divided in 2024 when we went through the 80s and the 90s of all this gang violence, and everybody living in the ghetto, and still we can't get over it, right? But I mean, then we have other people now that it's easier for people to speak up, especially because we have all these social media influencers or all these social media podcasters or whatever you want to call them,
Right.
that can speak what they call facts, and obviously their followers are going to tune in and they're going to listen to them and agree with them, not knowing the facts. Like you said, that's why we're here to hopefully speak to this individual, let him say what he has to say, and then we can hopefully correct them, because I feel what this guy said has a lot of holes in his story. And maybe his followers agree, because that's true though. A lot of people that have following, they agree with their, obviously, the person that they like to see,
Exactly.
but they need to look into the topics that they're talking about, and that's why we're here to let them know that some of the stuff that he said is wrong. And I'm not saying that everything he said was wrong, but a lot of things he said was wrong.
Well, I'm gonna say that he's like misinformed. Okay, first of
Yeah,
all,
there you go.
I'm not gonna say he's wrong. If he believes it strongly that that's what it is, and I'm gonna give it to him. Fine, everybody is entitled to their own opinion and beliefs, right? But I will stand up for like my culture, our culture, because one thing it's like the whole culture appropriation. I'm sorry, we're a proud people. You know what I mean? We're a proud people. We're proud of our heritage. We're proud of who we are, our origins, stuff like that. And then when you want to say culture appropriation, right? Now we're having this whole, and it's a new issue to me because I've never heard of this before. But we're hearing that there's black Aztecs, right? And there's black Olmecs, and it's like where did this idea arrive from? So it's like if you want to talk about culture appropriation, we could go in that direction, But that's just
Yeah,
else,
you know what? I actually did hear. I don't know if you watch Tony A. the Wizard over there with Rhodium Radio and what used to be Norby's. They actually spoke on that, and they did touch on that subject, saying that there was some hint of black people, but I don't know if it's like 100% like
No,
black, or
it's never been proved. It's never been
it's
like
never been
100%.
proved, right?
Yeah, never
Because
been.
even, I mean, I don't want to say it like this, but even Norby's looks Olmec.
Yeah.
If you
Oh
look
yeah.
at him, he has the big lips,
The white
he has
nose.
the nose,
Exactly.
and he calls himself indigenous, right? So it's part of the indigenous tribe. It's a tribe that lives up in the hills that not a lot of people get to see. So
Exactly.
I mean,
And they were like actually like the original indigenous people of the North America, right? Mexico and stuff, original. And then we breaks off to different other little what do you say? Not cultures, tribes, right? Different tribes.
tribes,
Well,
yeah,
the main ones would be like the Mayans, right? And that's like in Central America, and then now we have not Central America, South America, and then we have the Aztecs, which are in North America, correct? Um, so I mean, like, and then this is where I got offended, where they're like, oh, not, like these Mexican Americans are not even Aztec themselves, and it's like, how are you gonna take that from me? Like, I am Aztec, my origins are Aztec, my family's, like allegiance is like it's there. Like, how are you gonna say no?
well,
Um,
obviously they want to say that because that the fact that we're mixed with European blood, yeah, we might not be 100% Aztec anymore,
yeah,
but I mean we come from Aztec descent, so we
that's our
still
tribe.
have
Yeah, our ancestry is Aztec.
exactly, so we still have that blood running through our veins, whether it's mixed with European, unfortunately. But I mean, and the best way you can tell when a person is like more Aztec than European is when they don't have a lot of facial hair. Unfortunately, I have a lot of facial hair, so
Don't say that because Andy's gonna hop on here and be like,
it,
"See, I
it,
told you."
no, but it's kind of true though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hmm.
So that kind of it kind of sucks that way. But there is a lot of pure blood still out there.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And you'll find those like in the mountaintops and stuff like that.
Yes.
No, I never dark face. Don't take it offensively. I'm not trying to call you out or anything. Nobody ever said it was black Aztec. Um, no, I've heard this in somebody else's channel when they're like, "Oh, black Aztec." Okay, we don't want to take our culture. We have our own history. Take that with. Okay, and I agree. Everybody has their own cultures, and you should be proud of your culture. No fucking denying that. Like it is what it is. But again, for them to say that we're trying to take everything from them, where it comes to music, and not given to the whole hip hop rap thing. I don't care. Take it. It
Take it.
wasn't.
Yeah.
You were not the founders. Like definitely not. But okay, let me play this clip for you really quick. Let me see if I have it. And this will kind of show you where it all starts, right? It's like we're not trying to take this from you, but just listen to this.
The reason why
Yeah.
black people and Mexicans interacted and started taking from each other was because they live in the coast. Now Mexicans took the zoot suit from the blacks, but they also changed it. They made it more garish and made it more, they added a Mexicanism to it. But they took from the Harlem style that eventually became everybody's style, And so the same thing with lowrider culture. I tell people, yeah, it's black and brown. I mean, Mexicans really developed the whole lowrider culture, but black people are right there. They started their own lowrider clubs, and they were eliminating from each other. I know the music was very black, and the Pachucos went right into that boogie woogie and all that music. They got into it, but then they started changing it and made it their own Spanish language style and everything else. There was always this connection.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, and I do agree with him with obviously the Zoot Zoots. We didn't create that style, but we made it our own. And we never said it was ours. Nobody ever said that we came up with that style. But there's different flavors to each style.
Hi, Randall. Thank you for coming
What's
out.
up, Randall?
So let
Hey,
me
you
ask
know,
you: would it
the
be
chair.
culture appropriation, or would it be more of a culture exchange?
I would say culture exchange.
Me too, definitely. Definitely. Hi, Randall.
Both the Cherokee and the Seminole welcomed black people into the tribe.
Right.
We have the Black Seminole, Black Cherokee. They
Well, I
didn't see
mean,
race.
didn't Mexico have like a black president way back in the days? You know what I mean?
Vicente Guerrero was the second president in Mexico that actually helped abolish slavery in Mexico.
Exactly. We even brought black people to Mexico to get them away from slavery. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and they were the first ones to abolish slavery. Yes.
But see,
But see,
With
but
the,
their idea is that they were already in Mexico when that happened, right?
No.
And it's like, no, I'm sorry. The whole thing with blacks in Mexico was, it started with the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, I don't know where all this other theories coming from, but let's tell story, or let's tell history the way it is told, right? The way it is corrected. But
hey,
no,
hey, Andy.
wrong. Hey, Andy,
Hey,
what's
how's
up?
it going? What's up? What's
Andy,
up, West Coast?
what's
Let
up?
me
You
put
know,
my cuchara. I want to put my cuchara in. All right, like check it out. So the slaves back in the day would fucking escape to Mexico to escape slavery. That there are black people in Mexico for that reason, you know.
Right.
the same with
And
Florida.
Same thing in
also
Florida. Yeah.
there aren't that many Aztecs left because they got pretty much wiped out, right? But we all come from some form of native tribe. Myself, my family comes from the Zapotecs in Oaxaca.
Okay.
You know, they still speak their language. And if you just do a little research and ask your parents, you can find out from what tribe you come from because
Yeah,
there's
like for
hundreds
me
of
it would
tribes
be
in Mexico. Yeah,
with me it would be like Tarahumara, because they're from Chihuahua, right? Tarahumara
yeah,
Indians. Yeah. So
yeah.
You know, one of the crazy things about the Cherokee with the blacks is they took slaves. The Cherokee took slaves, and the crazy thing is, after they were slaves, they would invite them into the tribe.
Okay.
Yeah, they would assimilate them. They would assimilate them.
right,
Yeah.
embrace, and that's the culture that we are, like Mexicans. I'm not gonna generalize again. That's the one key problem that we're having here, is that we want to generalize everything with everyone. Okay, that's incorrect. That's a wrong move, right? Because not all I'm gonna say, and this is the truth. Not all Mexicans are accepting of black culture. Not all Mexicans are perfect, whatever. We're not perfect, right? We all have our little traces of racism or prejudiceness, and it is what it is, right? The majority of people of my culture are very embracing, right? We're very loving people, and we're like the first ones to take our shirts off our back to help somebody. Okay, and that's the truth, So I don't know where all this this narrative with that, we're horrible people towards black people. That's just wrong, I just don't see it. I don't
I
see
work
it.
with some. I work with some Mexican people that would make fun of people from Guatemala.
Oh yeah, see, so there we go.
But that's never gonna stop, man.
They
But
they
see,
say, "Are you from Guatemala?" No, I'm not from Guatemala.
Yeah.
yeah, but see
Yeah,
that's what's funny, That's what's funny. Like within our culture, we're still,
But
Yeah.
but can I ask you guys? Okay, so this really started snowballing like a couple weeks ago, right? Like, I mean, we have the Tariq Nasheed, we have what's it with the Red Supreme, we have the what's the other guy, Dr.
Dr.
Umar
Umar.
Johnson. You know what I mean? We have those people that are very outspoken and they speak for their race, right? And they want their race to be supreme, right?
So
And
we
I
have
get
it.
it.
Yeah, we have
I
the
mean, yeah,
FDA.
I understand what they stand for. You know what I mean? But the thing is, this is my problem too. Do we have a representative in our Latino culture that is that outspoken? I don't really see one. You know what I mean? Like,
We
and we
don't.
need that person.
Mhm.
You know what I think is really cool about Mexicans? They were the first cowboys in the United States. They would
They
run
were.
cattle up into California. They were the first
Right.
cowboys,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they took our stilo. The white boys took our stilo.
right?
Always take a estilo.
But see, it goes to that. It's not even taking it. It's just like we're so close to one another, right? We live amongst each other, so obviously there's an exchange there.
There
Exchange
you
of
go.
mannerisms,
Yeah,
exchange
I
of
shouldn't
like
say
habits.
take it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what it is. Yeah. So the Tariq Nasheed person, he comes from a different movement, which is the Foundation of Black Americans. Okay, and I understand the whole pride thing and I understand all this, but I think his main motivation is seeking reparations, right? So he feels he's entitled to reparations. Nobody's gonna take that. I'm not gonna argue that point because that it's very sensitive, and I agree.
What do you
Whatever.
mean, like the 40 acres and a donkey?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know there
Yes.
were black.
Andy, you're
You know there
getting
were.
in trouble.
Do you know that there were black slave owners?
No, but
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
But
exactly.
one of
that
the richest
that
black
that's
women had
that
her
was
own
really
slave.
Yeah.
that was really a thing back then, though. That's what they wanted back then. 40 acres and a donkey.
There
That
you
was
go.
reparations back then, you know.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I can't believe he said it. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
But I just
No,
want to
but
come on. I want to
yeah,
come on
no.
and just show some love. I'm gonna go, you guys.
Okay, thank you,
All
Andy. I
right.
appreciate it. I
Thank
appreciate
Peace,
it.
you.
everybody.
So in response to Randy's comment right now, black owners, right? For example, there was Anthony Johnson who also owned black slaves, right? So it's like, can we go after an Anthony Johnson for reparations as well? Like, do we, or are we just not forgetting that black history existed in the United States? We can't do that, you know. But yeah, let's not sing like, how do you say it? Signal out like just certain people, but
Yeah.
um Tariq Nasheed, like he's full of crap. I'm sorry, like, you know, it all started with the hip hop and this and that, and it's like even within their group, right, the FBA, right, all black people, you would agree, right, Caribbean people, all Latinos, right,
Yeah.
they're excluding that that portion of black Americans as well, right? So it's like it's just for them, but not the black Caribbeans, not the black Puerto Ricans, not the black Cubans. It's not them. It's just the ones here. And I was like, how is that? Everybody, all black people came over here with the same fucking, you know. So it's like no, like that's wrong. You know, that's wrong. It's selfish because now they're dividing. They're creating division within themselves. You know. So I don't know.
What do you say, Evil Terry?
Oh, the white man is allowed to speak now.
Daddy,
That's
Terry.
nice. That's nice. You know, I'm here
Daddy,
to calling
Terry.
you out because, like, the car was invented in Germany. So every time you drive a car, you're appropriating my culture. I don't like that. So, you know, also, I want to say it again, hip hop, another German invention. You know, no Kraftwerk, no hip hop.
Oh
Yes,
my
I'm gonna
god.
die on that hill. And what I
Oh
also
my
want to say,
god.
like on a more serious note, I think like also slavery is not a white invention. If you look at history, slavery is basically a power dynamic. It's always the quote unquote stronger tribe, right, who opposes themselves on the weaker tribe. That's like,
Thank you.
you know, it's just what time in history you live, like who does it the most, right? And the thing is, when you look at the African slave trade, right? So pretty much like tribes in the country of Africa, like enslaved their own people and sold them off at the coast. So I'm not saying like, yeah, I mean we bought them. So I'm not saying like we had nothing to do with it, right?
Right.
But the thing it's a much more deeper dynamic and shit. And I think all that so since I hang out with you Americans, you're awfully obsessed with race, right? So like and I get it. It's an American topic and shit like that. But in my opinion, all that race bullshit is just another means from the system to divide the poor even more. And that's basically what it is. It's just a diversion tactic to keep the poor divided so they can keep them in check. That's how I view that shit.
Dude, no, and you're like, dude, you left me mind blown right now. Like you just took over my show, Terry, because it's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's a tactic to.
Well, you remember? I don't know if you remember, but from what I heard, obviously I wasn't around at the time, but Long Beach and I think Santa Monica where a lot of black people used to live,
Mhm.
and Compton, a lot of people, black and white people used to live in Compton, and
Right.
so when the black people started going to, I mean, I think when the white people started coming to Long Beach and Santa Monica, then the black people started getting kicked out to the
South
urban
Central.
communities. Yeah, exactly. South Central, Compton. So you're right, Evil Terry. I mean, these people, and I say these people in the reference of the white people, they want and they always try to conquer everything and make us, divided and make us hate each other.
Well, because
And
it
they
makes
want
us weaker, right? Where
yeah,
we're
they
not
make us
together.
weaker. They make they make everything against each other. Well, they make us go
Yeah.
against each other in poverty as well.
Yeah.
See,
Also, they also what they want, they take. Look at what's happening in Boyle Heights. They figured out that if they live in
Gentrification.
Boyle Heights,
Gentrification,
they
exactly.
could just take the fucking road over the bridges and be at work in 10 minutes. So what
Yeah.
do? They start buying up all the houses and properties on Boyle Heights,
Hmm.
raises everything, And where the Chicanos gonna go that live there? You know what I mean? They can't even buy coffee anymore because it's so expensive.
It's expensive. The reason why I moved over here to San Bernardino, because the rent in LA is fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like, no, I can't. I don't know how you're doing it, but I can't. It's too much. It's overbearing. And it's true. It's like and not just white Americans, because they're like in my old neighborhood, like El Sereno, right? That's close to Alhambra, Pasadena area. El Sereno, it's like, before it was all Mexican American, now it's like more black and whites in my neighborhood, so it's like, dude, like, they're literally pushing everybody out. I mean, but that's something that happens in history. It happens all the time, so it's like nothing new. But to be complaining about us culturally appropriating, it's kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up.
So yeah, I think that the whole culture appropriation shit is some kind of bullshit. Like, no matter where it comes from, right? Because like it's yeah. Well, I guess if I would go around and say, yeah, well, we invented this and this, and I'm claiming it for myself, right? I can see the problem, right?
Right.
So when people are proud of their heritage, but other than that, I view it more like a celebration of the culture, right? When I dance to some Mexican music, it's not because like I want to be Mexican. It's because I like the music, dude. And it's not. I'm not trying to appropriate shit. I'm just trying to enjoy myself.
Exactly. And I mean, what's wrong with enjoying other people's cultures? What is wrong with that? Like, it doesn't mean that we want to take over, like, all of a sudden, now it comes to like them bringing up like clothing styles and our stilo or whatever, like, come on, like, honestly, what role does media play into all that, right?
Yeah, well,
So
the media is the one who built the cages for us, right? Who tells
exactly.
us like how we get divided,
Exactly.
And I think it's like it's not necessarily a white thing, It's for me, it's more like a rich against the poor thing and the first world against the third world, right? So we sit here now and discuss things on StreamYard, right? While some poor sucker in Africa, like digging out the ores with his bare hands that we need for our batteries, right? And probably makes in a month what we pay for a StreamYard subscription. So I think that's the thing, like the first world against the third world, And then in the first world, you got the problems too, right? I mean, America is an interesting country culturally, like how it's built and stuff like that. And I think there's not an easy answer to the whole problem, right? But I think like, so if you're proud of your culture, it's like don't wait. That this goes like to everyone, like whatever culture is, don't wait for anybody to fix shit for you. Support your local community. It's like what I do. I buy from my farmer. That's down here, right? So he makes some money. Like, use stores from your community, build up your community. Use businesses in your community so the whole community can prosper. And don't be an absent dad. That's also like a thing that helps a little bit,
Yeah,
But
that's true. Like that, the whole father absentee, it plays a big role on what's going on as well, right? Because we don't have that prime example, like teaching our kids, like, this is not what's correct and what's not correct. You know what I mean? So
but they also created that, in I want to say that the white people created that because they wanted to separate the father from the family, and the way they did that is how they introduced welfare. They introduced Section 8. They were like, hey, in order for you to get this, you got to be a single mother with kids. You know what I mean? Struggling. You can't have a father figure in the house. So they actually did that on purpose as well, to separate the families. And because together a family is strong, right?
right.
And when you have a single mother with 2-3 kids, whatever it is, it's harder to be a single mother with kids than it is to have a father figure in the family. So yeah, like you said, don't be absent from your family as a father, but it's kind of hard when the people, the ups, they make it that way for people to
Yeah, so
have a
they give away for women to sustain themselves, and I mean, a lot of women do need the help, but yeah, that right there is
and that's both races. That's Latinos and black. So
Exactly. So,
No, I get it. Like it's harder, But yeah, what do you do to say? Life's not fair. We got the cards we have dealt like when we are born, right? And I think like when it comes to that father shit, it's still a choice, from the person and stuff. So, but I think yeah, it's a bigger problem. I think like it's a greater problem like with Western society. I think we're on the way out, right? We're getting taken over by probably China or something, because
Damn.
they now, dude. It's like you can think about China what they want, but they I've seen a study, right? So what Chinese children want to be when they grow up, right?
Right.
So they have like scientist, astronaut, you know, stuff like that. Western society, I want to be an influencer, you know. So you can ask
Yeah.
yourself what is more worth for society, right? If you got like millions of new influencers, or you got scientists and shit like that, you know.
Right.
And I
Right.
think that is like the thing we focus on, and the thing what gets portrayed as I mean, just look at the whole celebrity culture, right? So we praise people that are very good in pretending to be somebody else, right? That's what an actor is, like for a living pretending to be somebody else. And that's the people we put on a pedestal, right? So the system doesn't want you to be yourself. The system wants you to fit in what it has for you, you know? And that's a big problem. And that's why I'm thinking we're lost our ways, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You speak truth, Terry, and I agree with that, like 100. You know. So like, okay, what do you think? What do you think we can do in order to maybe to come back or like take a step backwards? I mean, not all the way back to where they want to take it to, but what can we
I
do
think at the
in
end
order?
of the day, we Germans have to try a third time. I think that's
No.
Terry, I have no control over the management.
Wow.
no. That's like no. It's a hard problem, and it's like so. See, I get the people like when I see American debates and shit that say, well, it's not the system, it's the individual, but it is also the system, right?
Right.
And when something is ingrained in a system, it's very hard to change, right? You can say, well, you got your vote, right? But that's another thing. Like you know, no matter who's gonna be your next president, it's gonna be the same old shit. You know, it's like we in
Yeah.
Germany, we had a woman as a leader. It doesn't make a difference. You know, it's the same political bullshit.
No, I
So
don't know. I disagree. Maybe a woman brings some a little more compassion towards the people.
yeah, but she was weird. She was weird. Some
Yeah.
days in the month. I don't know what was going on.
Oh, the
But
baby was
Did he just say that? No.
that's why we're not
Terry, my
allowed to have
gosh.
yeah, but that's why we're not allowed to have nuclear weapons, you know.
There
But
you
the
go.
thing, no,
Fine.
but the thing is, you can only change the system from within and the means you have, and that is like you got to start in your local community and grow from there, right?
Yeah.
But also the thing is, to answer your question, baby love, how can we take a step back and analyze the situation and try to correct it from here on forward. The way I see it, and it's not a solution, but it's something that we got to start doing, is talking to, like, again, I got to bring up Dr. Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed and everybody that believes in their culture, right? We need to speak to those individuals. Maybe not myself or you or somebody. Maybe if we
I mean,
can.
but somebody
But
has
hold
to
on.
step up
But we
on.
need to have them understand that not everything is about them. You know what I mean? Because they make everything about them, and they don't let nobody come in and say, okay, how can we fix this situation where you believe everything belongs to you and should be given to you because of what you dealt with in the past? Fine, it sucks what happened to them in the past. I get it, I understand that, but moving forward, we need to see where we can come together as a unity and say, okay, this is what we can do moving forward. We can, what was your name? Terry, is that your name?
Terry, yeah.
Yes.
Like he said, start with your community, build your community, the Latino community, the Black community, and just buy from them instead of buying from Walmart and Target and all these other places. But start from there and build from there, but get together and do it and understand what the problem is. Don't keep going at each other's throats saying, well, you took this away from us, or this is from us and you can't you know what I mean? Like, we need to understand what the situation is and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying, because like when I see like American media and shit, so I mean the white people are the bad people now, right? So like everybody is like
No,
putting down on the white, And no, just let me make that point. I guess it's, somewhat deservedly, like when you look at the history. But the thing is, it that just breeds resentment, right? So if you say, okay, for example, so the black guys have been slaves, now we have a different culture. Now it's their turn to oppress another culture, right? Because they now get their whatever. That solves nothing. That just breeds another generation of resentment and hate, right? And then the next generation is going to say, no, okay, we've been the asshole now it's our turn, And then like everybody gets a couple of years where they're like at the top and it solves nothing. And I agree, like basically what should happen, but I guess will never happen, is all the people should come together and say, okay, so we draw a line now. What is in the past is in the past, and we figure out how we can move on from here, right? Doesn't mean to forget it. Like I'm as a German, I feel somewhat a responsibility, like to call fascism out if I see it, right? Because like I'm raised with that history. But that doesn't mean like my whole life has to evolve around my history. That's in the past, have nothing to do with it, wasn't a part of it. And so if people come to me and give me shit about like the time in Germany when that shit went down, I always think like, dude, what do you want me to say? I was not there. We can move on from here.
Exactly.
I recognize it's not good, right? So, and I don't want to repeat it, but I'm the wrong person to talk to. If you want to talk about the future and how we can move on, then we can have a discussion.
Exactly. So like ways to better our society. Period. It's like going back into the past. It's just not the way to go. So the person that was supposed to be here, Bobby Ye from Imperial Vision, you guys check him out, and you guys let me know what you think of his little rhetoric. But so he even mentioned Martin Luther King, right? He's like, if you believe the lessons of Martin Luther King, the toxic lessons that Martin Luther King spoke out on, he actually did us a disservice. I'm like, are you like, is this really something that's coming out of you, or where's this coming from? Because from what I remember, he opened the pathways to many of us, even us Hispanics, So I mean, that whole that rhetoric, it's fucking hate. It's hate, it's hate. So it's like I guess the main thing is to speak to like our children, right? Our
Yeah.
the following generation, and that whole fucking mentality, like just get
See,
away.
that's the thing. Like, so my country was separated till 1989, right? We had the Great Wall. Then David Hasselhoff came and sang, and the wall came down. So, according to him, But but the thing is, like, so for my generation who lived through that, right? We still have our jokes about like the Eastern German population and shit like that, right? So because like, and it's a back and forth. But when I talk to like my niece, for example, right, who didn't like, doesn't matter to her, it's the same people. Like she doesn't even get the reference and shit, and that's how it is, dude. It's like what happened in the past is what it's done, and now you got to move on,
and I think
and let
race,
yourself allow to heal.
yeah,
That's also
and
important.
and to your point with your niece, right, that she didn't understand the reference. Everything starts at home. Racism starts at home because racism is taught. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not learned like just naturally, no.
Yeah, they don't. They could go to school with black, brown, white, Asians, and everybody's friends up
Exactly.
until they
As a
get
matter,
older.
yeah, kids don't even like
They
they
don't see color.
recognize.
Honestly, they don't. And that's another thing with people like and I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but with him, what's his name again?
Who,
Bobby.
Rican,
No, with
Bobby,
Bobby, talking all that stuff, and again, he's speaking for his people, and he wants his people to be, whatever.
successful.
So yeah, so when he has kids and they hear this coming out of him, they begin to think that way as well, and the way to stop that is not to teach it, not to speak it,
Exactly.
but how is
But
that
I
going to
wonder
happen?
where he's picking this up from, and
Well, he probably has idols. He probably has idols that he looks up to. I mean, come on, because
so it's
like
a
you
whole
said,
movement.
yeah, exactly, it's a movement, man. And like you said, Dr. Martin Luther King didn't teach that. So where's he getting that from?
Exactly. So now we have like the Red Supreme, right? Oh my God, this. Oh,
And
oh,
honestly, baby love,
Oh, be careful now.
watch out, watch out. Watch out. Explicit content, explicit content.
Yeah, that was,
yeah.
ooh,
My
that
phone
was a close one.
my phone's
Wow.
slippery. Oh, shit.
Wait.
I'm
This
sweating
guy,
and I'm fucking slippery.
Bob, hey, Bobby might actually be watching us to hear what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know,
You
and,
know,
and nothing against him. I
no,
respectfully,
no,
you know,
exactly.
he has his belief, like I said, and his opinions, and that's fine. But I mean, I wish he would have came up here, and then maybe we could have came to some kind of understanding. You know that I mean, he could think what he wants, but then I'm gonna say, I'm right, and he thinks he's right, so we're both right, and we can't both be right. Um, but again, it's like it's not even about history. I mean, it's past us already. What can we do as a community? What can we do together to succeed? Because obviously there's a movement behind all of this, which is, divide and conquer again, once again. Um, and it's unfortunate that it's in plain sight. West Coast, it's in plain sight what they're trying to do. Especially with the elections and everything. It's like I think honestly, I don't even want to say what it is, but I think we could do better as a society. We can do way much better.
Yeah. I mean, can I touch on one of the topics that he talked about real
Sure.
quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just took screenshots because I didn't want to forget. But I know he said something about. Let's see. He said something about the the Latinos. Well, he said Mexicans that are coming over here. Within the last 2 or 3 years, have been coming over here because due to asylum, and now they're getting, I think it's $600 a week plus these fancy hotels and healthcare and all that. And he said, "Oh, you're taking that away from us." First of all, they're not Mexicans, all right? Most of them are from Venezuela, Honduras,
Ecuador,
Ecuador. They're from what is it called?
South America.
South
They're South
America.
America. Yeah.
Central American. I'm sorry. Yeah, Central American. So there might be what 20%, maybe less than 20% Mexicans coming through. So right there, that's why I wanted to talk to him too, because right there he's wrong. He's making this a Mexican thing, and it's not a Mexican thing.
At all.
You cannot, just because we're brown doesn't mean that we're all
That
Mexican.
we're all the same people. And
Exactly.
it's not a dig at them either, because there's a lot of like very righteous Central Americans or like Honduran, Salvadorian, all of them. There's very righteous people that have very strong morals, but then you have to remember that these countries are also running away from wars. And
They're
running
under
away
attack
from,
from the government. Yes.
yeah, from the government. So understandably, in all that bunch, you're gonna have, or the riffraff, right? You're gonna have criminals and
Yeah,
and
but
shit
to,
like that,
to generalize it and to make it seem like it's Mexicans
just
coming
Mexicans.
over here, no, that's wrong, man. You need to look at the facts. That's the problem I was having with him talking about that. I was like, wait a minute, homie, you're making it a Mexican thing, and it's not a
And
Mexican
it's not.
thing.
But
You
the
know?
same as Red Supreme, he's like, oh, it's Mexicans, and they're all the same. They're all the same, and I'm like, you're definitely wrong with that, because like you said, it's not a lot of Mexicans that's crossing over, especially now with Mexico being a booming country,
Oh
right?
my
With everything,
gosh.
everything that they're putting in place. AMLO put a lot of fucking things in place for this coming generation. I mean, they have like the trans. What is it that fuck? I had it. I lost my train of thought. The transportation, right? The fucking goods and stuff like that, transporting from different countries straight into Mexico.
Yes, they're gonna
know?
open a canal. They're gonna
Yeah.
open a canal to intercept, and they're doing it to intercept the Panama Canal so that they can get the cargo and distribute it from there, and that's gonna make them even wealthier. Also, they're building their own oil refinery so that they can process their petroleum and not send it out to other countries and pay the country to process the petroleum. So believe me, Mexico, people say it's a third world country. Oh my God, they're so wrong, man.
They're coming up. They're coming up. They
I
have
mean, the
lots
dollar is already devaluating over there. So come on.
right. So I can't say
See?
100%, but it's not Mexican that are crossing over. So
For
like to
me,
generalize
like
it,
see,
go ahead.
immigration is a hard subject, right? Because like so at the end of the day, I think like most people who want to come to another country, right, like want to make a better life for themselves, right?
Yeah.
And I cannot fault somebody. So if I would see no future in my country, I would look like somewhere else too, right? But like so the way I think America is handling it now is not sustainable for the country, right? You're fucking up your whole country with that no border shit, right? So there has to be a common ground. And we had a problem too in Germany because we had a lot of Arab immigration, right? From the Arab countries, and at the time back then we didn't know what to do with them pretty much, right? So we assigned them like a part of the city, pretty much like a ghetto, right? And we didn't allow them to work and stuff like that. So because they had no papers and shit like that. So what happens now is like pretty much the German like crime is pretty much run by Arab family clans because we didn't provide these people the opportunity to have a normal life in our society. Because a lot of them, of the first generation and shit, they're always like, we just came to work, but we had no opportunity to work. So, you know, of course I'm gonna sell drugs or do something because I gotta feed my family. You know, and that's kind of the bigger problem of that shit, right? And but it's also you cannot say like, yeah, all people come in because a country cannot sustain that. You cannot all just let them in and then do nothing, right? So and I mean what you see like the whole shit is going sideways. When I look at LA, like when people shows me some pictures and shit, it's pretty much like a camping ground now, right?
Oh, it's
So
ugly. It's ugly. Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
like
the
yeah.
cats everywhere. Yeah.
It's ridiculous, right? But there's also because we live in a time, I guess, where nobody wants to offend somebody and nobody wants to be canceled, right? And as soon as you bring up tough subjects, you know, you always put yourself out for the mob mentality to come and say, "Oh, you're racist," right? And it's like for me, and when it comes to Germany, right? So I don't consider myself racist because I don't think in that ways. There are assholes like in every culture, right? And just because I may not like one black dude doesn't mean like all black dudes are a strange or something, right? But but the thing is, it's yeah, well, it's a hard. It's a very tough subject, and I think it doesn't get the attention it needs, right? It seems to me like in America especially it's a very politicized thing. So it's like when people say, yeah, black people care every 4 years, right? Like the
Wow.
politicians care about black people every 4 years. That's pretty
Right.
much how it goes. All of a sudden, Miss Clinton has hot sauce in her bag
In
and
a
shit like
burrito.
that. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. So they care for minorities, like when they're looking for a vote. But apart from that, they're just
Yeah. I mean,
whatever.
it's like the whole it's for one to use discernment, right, of what's going on, and a lot of people are just being very very irresponsible, especially on YouTube with putting out content that it's doing more harm than any justice to anybody, you know. Um, and that needs I think personally it needs to get stopped. It needs to stop. You know, that whole fucking being
Yeah.
irresponsible and just running your mouth. You know, that's not
See,
good.
I think it's like if you like it or not, we live kind of in a global society, right? The world is interconnected, and for me, the problem, what I don't get, like with Germany too, like we get a lot of refugees from countries. When I look on the globe, right? It's like, and I see how many countries they went through to get to us. That I always think like, so why did they end up here? Why nobody like on the way or so I'm with the Jesus thing, like teach a dude how to fish, right? And he can feed himself. So I think it would be more appropriate to help those people like in the places they are than,
Exactly.
just bring them in and shit like that. Because we also brain draining those countries, right? So we keep people in our universities and the brightest and the intelligent ones, most of them, they stay. And but those are the people that could build their own country, right?
Yeah.
So, but we take this away from the people because those people have value to us, right? So we keep them here, but the other ones we don't care much. And I think it's important, like if the Western world sees himself like as a leader in shit like that, then we should help those people at their country and not like,
Yeah.
make this whole migration thing.
Well,
But
I
you
Yes.
know,
mean, yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, it's like why is everybody coming to America knowing that the economy is so bad and they still want to come here? I mean, you got all kinds of different, not just Latinos, but now you got Asians, you got Hindus, or I think they're Hindus coming to America for what?
Right.
This is not. There's no America dream anymore. That dream has
It's
sailed 20 years ago.
exactly like
But to your point, baby love, I think people like to speak about racism even now more so because it gets the attention of other people and it's a hot topic and they just roll with it because they see people tune in and
mhm.
maybe they're like, well, you know what, let me stick to this and see how far I can take it. Let me see how many people I can offend. You know what I mean? Because they know right from wrong. Everybody knows right from wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, like what I'm saying is like they should be more conscious about that because like there's a lot of people here that are believing the fucking narrative, and it's like now we have like and it's bullshit that it's happening in California. I haven't seen it to this day. I haven't seen anybody go at it with the black person. Like it's beyond me, like even Bobby, he's not even from California for him to speak loudly about how Mexicans are treating black Americans here. It's bullshit, or even Red Supreme, he's not
was
from
was he ever from California? Because he claims to be a Crip.
yeah, I'm not.
Bobby.
Maybe he was.
Yeah,
He
because he
doesn't
because
make
he's
me sound
he claims to be a Crip. I don't know. I haven't heard his whole stuff, but I know he was saying that he represents that faction or whatever. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, so maybe he was from California because now he's in Vegas, right?
right. He's the biggest now, but even like within the last 10 years, I haven't seen any kind of fucking racial. If anything, I've seen more Black Americans attacking our vendors in the streets, and
Yes.
doing things like that. Okay, I don't see any of the Chicano culture fucking attacking them. If it's not just to like kind of not retaliate, but more like confront them. I've seen more confrontations than I have attacks. So it's like um, he can't
Well,
spit that.
it's because if the Mexicans go and confront the black, what are they gonna say? We're racist.
They are
That's the
racist, but they're
first
saying
thing
it
they're gonna
anyways.
say. That's their number one go-to word. Oh, you guys are racist. You guys are racist. No, we're standing up for our people. How is that racism?
Mm,
You guys are attacking our people. We're just trying to let you guys know, hey, you guys can't do that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And
exactly,
if we beat one of them up or two of them up or three of them up, then we're racist. But
exactly.
it's okay for them to knock over a street vendor? Nah, man.
No,
See
and
that's where it
these
all
are
started
hardworking
too.
people. These are hardworking people. Now
Exactly.
we have like and I'm not gonna say all black people do, but they're doing the smash and grabs or whatever. What do you call those
Yeah,
mobs?
that's yeah,
Smash and grabs, right?
yeah, smash and grab, yeah.
So
So
it's like
I just want to address Mr. Joe Bob real quick because he said like about the Turks in Germany. Yeah, well, I could tell you what happened with the Turks in Germany, right? We have a very interesting relationship with Turkey because the thing was like when our country was pretty much fucked up, like after the war, right, for obvious reasons. So when our economy put back up, got some steam again and we built a country, we didn't have to workforce, right? So we put the word out. So if you guys want to come over and work, we call them guest workers. Then you can work here, make a good living, and support your family. Well, and a lot of them stayed. And why should they not stay? They rebuild a country with us, right? So they earned that right for me, like in my opinion. And like first generation Turkish guys who came to Germany, second generation, hardest workers you ever find. Great people, you know?
right, right.
Now, well, the young people, we have a little bit of a crime problem and shit like that, but I don't say it's a Turkish problem. I think it's a societal problem. And the thing is, when the I hear they're still yeah, well, their divides is well between Eastern and Western Germany, Mr. Joe Bob. It's like it's people in my generation who still do the jokes and shit like that, but there is no big divide, like you know. So you're less of a person because you're from the East. You probably have jokes too about like people from Texas and shit like that. It's more like that. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And
then Yeah, let me address this comment here. He said, I hate people. I'm in Virginia. I've never had any problems with Mexicans, but when we stand up for our people, it's wrong. It's never wrong to stand up for what you believe, first of all. Okay. And if you want to know about like black people attacking vendors in California, I'll put up some shorts and you'll tell me if I'm in the wrong for saying that. I don't think I am. And I'll show you that there's a lot of videos, and therefore we have Alex. What's his name? Alex Estrada.
Alex Enamorado.
Oh, Alex Enamorado, right? That's actually in jail right now because he was confronting these incidents, and so yeah, there is a lot of that. Unfortunately, and if you don't know, then maybe you should find out. But um, again, it's not. I'm not attacking all black people. There's people that have and live with that fucking hatred in their heart, and it's not cool. It's not good for you, and it's not good for us, right? I think together in unity, we could do and create so much more for our future generations, right? Instead of like acting like we're entitled to certain things in this country, like um, okay, it's fine to have fucking pride, but entitlement, that's where it's just wrong. Okay, it's just wrong. But if it matters too much to say, oh, hip hop belongs to us, and by all means have hip hop, have rap, have all that. It's nonsense to us. It's not it's just not, we can't even say that it's material because it's not even material. Like what the fuck? It's just a thought, or whatever. Like no, we're not gonna argue about entitlements. It's not cool. What we're arguing is a way to fucking produce something that's more important than just fucking saying that something belongs to us.
Yeah, enough with the back and forth. Like, come
Yeah.
on, can't we just come to an agreement somehow?
Yep. Let's put this that well, it's pride. You would say it's pride, right? West Coast, Ontario.
Yes.
And yeah, pride. It's caused a lot of obviously wars and shit because it's a major factor, but we're not arguing pride and we're not arguing entitlements, that to each its own. If you guys want to stand up and argue for your reparations, you by all means, you guys have the right to do so, and I agree, black people united, like within their culture, they make shit happen, like no denying that, but also don't deny the fact that alongside you, we've always had a backing of you, we've always backed you up. We've always worked together, no matter how much you guys want to deny it. It's always been black and Native American and Mexicans that have worked united to get things to happen, so yeah, no, that's just, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I don't know.
See, I think like when a core problem of that all is like I always view YouTube as a small like experiment of society, right?
I
So
agree.
because like a lot of what's going on here is applying to the greater picture too, I think. And I mean, just look how people eat up drama and how people are not interested in positive shit, right? And like, I think that's in society too. Division is way more lucrative than unity.
Yeah.
When it
Yeah.
comes to that social media shit and so
But see,
that's
but we
also
don't know
part
that
of the
because
problem.
we've never done, or we've never actually accomplished unity to make it, or to see that, oh yeah, look at what we did united,
Because that division is so tasty.
Well, look, there was one instant where we did unite in my lifetime that I remember, and it was for what? For
Mhm.
justice when Rodney King got beat up, right? The Latinos and the black, they agreed that was
Right.
injustice, right? And what did we do? Sadly, we destroyed our cities, right? But we came together collectively to let the government know, hey man, that was wrong. You know what I mean? You cannot beat a black person to nearly to death, right? And then let the white man get away with it. Because why? A lot of, like you said, baby love, a lot of Latinos go through it. A lot of blacks go through it in the ghetto, and it's both. So if we can come together for that, we can definitely come together just on a regular situation where we don't have to have violence and have an understanding. But the thing is, like you said, it's pride also. Pride
Mhm.
won't let that go. It sucks.
Yeah, exactly. Now, can we agree that blacks, Mexicans, and even Native Americans, even Asian Americans, we do have a disadvantage when it comes to education. Do we agree with that? Right.
Yes.
So how can we as and these are like same questions to the black community. Instead of arguing about who gets the newer books, how about we get together and push forward for everybody to get better books, or together, I think we can make that possible. When we're breaking each other up or like cutting each other down, where nothing's gonna get accomplished, because now we're fighting about who deserves more from whatever institution, whatever. Um, it's unbelievable that now we can, at this time of age, like, we should be past that, right? We all want fucking better schools, we all want better wages and this and that, but nothing's gonna get accomplished in the mannerism that they're doing it. It's just, I don't see it happening. So, man, I really wish that guy would have came today, honestly. I
Yeah,
really
no,
do.
I think he got intimidated. Honestly, he probably saw your channel and saw what you were talking about a couple episodes before, and
Yeah.
he probably like, nah, I'm gonna get attacked. Maybe he felt like he was gonna get attacked.
But I made it clear to him that there was gonna be no dogpiling. I mean, because
Yeah,
respectfully, I told him, like, I really do, and I've gone to other people's chats where they're like attacking me and attacking me, and I'm like, I'm just here to listen. I'm just trying to learn, because maybe could we be wrong? Maybe, you know, I don't know if I'm wrong, because I don't know what your stance is either. So I
yeah,
mean, sharing ideas, sharing lessons and stuff like that, it benefits both cultures, because at least we could come to terms that, okay, that's true, that's not true,
yeah,
but
yeah. That would
yeah,
have been great. That would have been great.
exactly.
Yeah, even if you don't agree at the end of the day,
Yeah,
it's
we
always
don't have to
important.
agree on
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, yeah,
it's
definitely.
important, like, to talk to each other. Like, I have no problems like talking to a blatant racist, because I want to know how he
How he
comes to
thinks.
that conclusion, right? So what made him think that way,
Right.
and there's also like, it's the first step, like a good conversation, to change each other's minds, right? Because
Exactly.
maybe I see some things wrong and I haven't seen it that way. And if
Hmm.
somebody like who lived it tells me his story, I can empathize. I can see, like, oh, all right,
That's
because
where
I,
we
I
went wrong
I
or
haven't
something.
watched it
Yeah.
from that viewpoint.
Exactly. I hate black people. It's not, and this is what I don't understand. I hear it mostly on YouTube, that there's a division between blacks and Mexicans, and people talking out of context and out of term and stuff like that. I don't see it on the streets as much. So what I'm trying to do is prevent it from getting to the streets. And that's why I want people, like, on YouTube, have some responsibility about the content that you're putting out there, because there is children listening to YouTube. There are kids that, unfortunately, parents are not supervising them as they should, but are picking up on this kind of conversation that does, unfortunately, affect them in a certain type of way. They're very susceptible to these kind of conversations. Um, I think it's like a major responsibility as creators, that we need to fucking be positive about the messages that we are sending. You know,
And that's the problem. The problem is that they need to also, the content creators need to also understand the rhetoric that they're spilling out here on YouTube, and unfortunately, like I said, once again, maybe they feel like they're saying the right thing and they keep going and going and going,
hmm
but nobody's going to stop them. Nobody's going to confront them, because some people get scared to confront other people. They don't want to, because they might, what, and in all honesty, they might say, oh, well, you know what, they might think I'm racist if I go against that, that person, which you're
hmm
not. You're just stating your point of view, and
right.
everybody, like Terry said, everybody has to understand, hey, we all got different point of views. Maybe you could change
hmm
my mind, maybe I could, maybe, and that's why we listen, because like Terry said, you listen to different ethnicities to see their
hmm
point of view in life and what they're going through, their struggles in life, and you're like, okay, now I understand a little bit more about their side,
Exactly. And also, if we're gonna be talking about certain things like this, like culture is very important, right? Healthcare, all this stuff. Um, Speak with facts. I always like, I have sources to whatever I was gonna present. I have sources to the shit that I'm talking about. Now, can they say for sure that they have like the sources to be like, oh yeah, like, for example, blacks were the first founders of California? Where's your source? I want to see it. I have the source to where it's not. That's incorrect. That's incorrect fucking history that you guys are trying to rewrite. Right now, like I said, I wish he would have came, because that was one of the questions I needed to ask him. Like, where is your source for that myth that you're creating? And it's myth, right? Because honestly, California was not, it was not a black Amazonian island. Like, yeah, no. But I have the source for that, so I would have loved to had that debate with him. But
and
Bobby, like, if you're there, I mean, tap in.
Yeah, Bobby, tap in. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the reparation, right? You know,
Mhm.
again, they fight for that because of what happened to their ancestors and everything like that.
Right.
The same could we could say about our people, right? The land got
Hmm.
stolen from us, so why can't we have that back?
Exactly.
If let's just say they get their money, can we get our land back?
Exactly.
Can the Indians get their land back that they got taken away from? You know what I mean? And then the whole United States is going to be a mess.
Right. Right.
I mean, if that's the case, everybody should get everything that they got taken away from. Everybody.
But
Well,
yeah,
I
but it
think
yeah. Go
I
ahead,
think
Jack.
like as an outsider, the whole reparation thing, I always think that's kind of cute because like I can see like no way how this gonna happen and how this gonna work, right?
Right.
So I mean, like if you even if you give people like a certain amount of money, like for the time, so what's gonna happen, right? You buy
Mhm.
yourself a big TV or something, and to
Yeah.
get even more of the bullshit in your brain and shit like that. No,
Well,
dude. Like, so if the government, I think it's a government thing, right? If the
yeah,
government would be
yes.
interested in reparations, right? Then I think the right way to do it would be to build up those communities, you know, to help them, like put some money in the communities for better schools, for shit like that, you know. These are the
Hmm.
kinds of reparation, but some money amount and shit is gonna solve nothing, dude.
Yeah. Oh
Look,
yeah.
hold on real quick. There's a perfect example, right? There was a black family that owned a piece of Malibu. I don't know if you remember that, baby love.
Yeah. I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Okay, so they got that land taken away from them, right? The
Hmm.
white man just walked in there and said, "Okay, you guys no longer own this. We own it."
Hmm.
And that black family for years after even the original owners died, their family members kept fighting for that piece of land, and it was a pretty big piece of land in Malibu. And if you know Malibu,
Yeah.
Malibu is very expensive to live in.
Yeah.
So what happened once that city said, "Okay, fine," after years of you guys fighting for this, you know what? Here it is. You guys can have it back. We're sorry. We apologize. They made a whole video. They made everything, a story and everything. A few
Hmm.
weeks later, maybe a month later, what happened? What did that family do? They sold it back to Malibu.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean? So to your point, Terry. Yeah. What is money gonna do for them?
Hmm.
I mean, yes, it's good to have money. Don't get me wrong. Everybody needs money, but they're just gonna spend it on cars or whatever it is, and that's fine. Spend it on whatever you want, but it'll be better to build their
Don't
community.
appropriate my culture. Don't get a car. Get a bicycle.
I mean, it sucks, but that's the honest truth, man. And
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
might be like, "Oh, you guys are wrong." No, I mean, if you give me $1 million, you know, what am I gonna do with it? I don't know. I don't know how to handle money. The first thing I'm gonna do is buy stupid things. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cocaine and
Exactly.
hookers.
Let's go, baby.
My goodness. Yeah. You know.
Let's have a reparation weekend. But
No. No. Joke. I'll joke to say. Um. Yeah. I mean that's interesting, right? That you mentioned that. Like, yeah. So if you want reparations, how about reparate your communities before trying to fill your pockets?
yeah,
As
that's
much as
also like
possible.
where the state can step in, right? So they
Mhm.
can build like better schools or a better infrastructure for the people to help themselves. You know?
Exactly, exactly. I mean, they complain about education. Like, they're, for example, you could use that money for better schools in your community. You know, better wages for your community. I mean, there's like so many possibilities that they can do with that reparation money than just to be like, oh, well, it's mine. For my pocket, whatever. That's not cool. That defeats the purpose of why you want to help or why you want reparations, right? Like, no,
Yeah.
I don't
Also,
get
I
it.
see like when I look at America, it's also strange because as soon as the state steps in, you're all afraid that you become communists or something. You know, so
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
always something about the American culture, right? So those state
I
things.
think America is gonna be a communist country very soon, man.
I think Mexico is too, and they were just right along each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? Also, I just thought about something, baby love.
Mm,
You said something about our education system, right? Back in the
mm,
'90s, when I was in high school, they were actually graduating a lot of people, even if they did nothing, no homework. All they needed to go to school and get their school credits. They didn't even do any homework or any
yeah.
tests. They were just passing people just to get them out of school.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of things that happened in the '90s with the
Right.
education system because they
Well,
just
I
wanted to
mean,
get students out. They were like, you know what? It's
well,
a
not just
revolving
that.
door.
It's because for per student, the teachers are getting paid per student. The school
Yeah, because
is getting
it's a
paid per
government,
student.
yeah,
Yeah.
or it's a state thing. Yeah, you're right. You're
So
right.
so it's not
But
much
but
that
that
they care.
sucks, right?
Yeah. And now, yeah, exactly. And now, even with the No Child Left Behind, like they really don't care about educating kids. Like they don't. That's why a lot of students are being homeschooled now, right? Because parents are actually taking it upon themselves to educate their kids, right? And another thing, like, okay, okay, when you go to high school, right, they teach you, of course, the basics, history, math, science, this and that.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, but do they teach you how to go out into the world and use your money? Like, like, for example, credit, that's major shit. Like, if you don't have credit, like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, how to financially educate us to succeed. Except what they do is they create a working force, and not somebody,
And
or
they also took away a lot of the electives like auto mechanics,
oh yeah,
metal shop, wood shop, everything that you can actually take
like
into
trade.
the real world.
Yeah, yeah,
They took that away. Now what do they have? I don't even know what they have. They got like computer classes, which is fine because that's the new generation. But they're not even teaching them anything. They're teaching them how to do stupid things. Like
right.
teach them how to encode, decode. Teach them how to do things that are gonna help them in the future. You
And
know,
not even that. That's on the way out, right, Terry, with all the AI stuff.
Yeah,
that's
well,
another thing.
the landscape is changing. So I'm a programmer myself, like in a
Oh,
day-to-day thing.
interesting.
Well, if I would go back to university today, I don't know if I would change because like it's yeah the field is changing. But
Right.
it's still a good job and shit like that. But I think also like people are way too obsessed with university. There's nothing wrong with a trade, learn a trade,
Exactly.
dude. You make some good money and it's a good job. Like I'm always baffled how much a welder gets, for example, right?
Oh yeah.
And dude, it's like, there are opportunities out there. And
Right.
for me, it's always, see, here, like, university is, yeah, well, it's not free, but it's highly affordable.
Hmm.
We pay like each semester like $100 or something. So
Wow.
that's like, and that's another problem, right? So you study to get a high paying job, and then you pay up your debt like for the for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the whole debt thing in America is kind of strange to me because in my culture it's very ingrained in people
Hmm.
that debt is a bad thing. So you don't want to, it's frowned upon, right? So you don't
Yeah.
want to be in debt, and we believe more in cash. So we don't have that credit card culture in Germany,
Oh
right?
yeah.
That's another thing. Because like with that cards, you always, yeah, well, swipe it here, swipe it there, and then you get the
Fact.
bill at the end of the month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yet, if you don't know how to manage your credit, like I said, you're asked out, because there's a lot of doors closed for you if you don't know how to manage your credit history or whatever it is. I know, because I'm going through it. And I'm like, fuck. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bitch, dude. It is, honestly. But
Yeah, and if you're trapped in that credit system, it's also hard to come out.
yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
then what you're gonna do? Oh, I get a new card to pay off the old card or
That's
something.
what a
It's
lot of
like,
people
yeah,
do,
so
man. That's what a
Exactly.
lot of people do.
Or your mortgage, and it's like, oh, now you have to take up another loan, and fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
They address it like, oh, like, we'll loan you money, but we're helping you out, but like with all the interest and shit like that, like you're helping yourself, if anything. But that's the culture, I guess. I don't know. I
Yeah, but
told
they
yeah.
should they should teach life
financial
skills.
education. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I also see like a problem if I think about American culture is that everything is a business, right? That's good for some things, but like the prison system should not be a business, like for example,
Oh,
right?
that in
So
itself is another topic. Fuck.
because a
Yeah.
business wants to make money, it doesn't care about individuals.
Hmm.
And what would be like if people really turn their life around? All of a sudden we got no inventory anymore for a
Yeah. Oh my.
business,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So they're not
Yeah.
interested in people actually being
Doing
not
good.
criminals. Yeah.
Well, actually, okay. So the first prison was actually, it was supposed to be a how to say, reformatory, right? Like for people that were being jailed. It was never supposed to be what it is today. So it's true. Like, what happened to rehabilitation in fucking prisons? Of course, it does. It's not convenient for the government to do that, and that's pretty fucked up, because who gets the backlash if it's not minorities? In California prison system, majority of the prison or the inmate population is a minority, Black and Mexican. So it's like, it's a fucking whole setup, and it's like, instead of fighting for those issues, right, we're fighting against each other. So You know, like, oh, like it's even stupid to say like, oh, but there's more black people in prison than there is Mexicans. Like, kudos to you, I guess. You know, like
You
that's,
won that one.
you know, you're exactly like, no, that's not what something we need to be proud of. Like, if anything, fucking deviate from that fucking mentality. You know, like let's say, oh, you know, the black population is fucking getting out of prison or fucking becoming fucking this and that or whatever. Mexicans are coming out of prison and they're rehabilitating, creating fucking better communities. But no, they have us in a, like you said earlier, Terry, like these cages that they built for us, and we fall like fucking dummies into the fucking trap. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just a revolving door. It sucks.
See,
Yeah.
for me, it's like so. I think like our societies are built on different premises, right? So like in America, it's all about personal freedom, and I always say like freedom is highly overrated. You know, also like if you want to see how free you really are, stop paying taxes. You will find out real quick how free you are.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
but but the thing is like so that's in your constitution, right? For obvious reasons of history in our constitution, like our first article is like you cannot deprive a human of its of his dignity, right? That is how we build our society around.
Well, I mean,
And
it's supposed to
that
be that
goes
way
to
here,
the
Terry.
prison system too, right? So for us, like the punishment is that you are in prison, right?
Right.
So that doesn't mean they have to make your life miserable in prison too, because you know you already are in prison.
Exactly.
And
Well,
then
see, the Eighth Amendment is actually about that. No cruel and unusual punishment for the inmates, right? But they don't care. They don't care. They still fucking they fuck you over as, however they possibly
yeah, well,
can, and
because it's a
especially
business, you know. At the
yeah,
end of the day, they wanna make money. That's
yeah,
why you need but it goes to everything. That's why you need some government oversight in some things. If you let a corporation do what it's want, it doesn't care about people. It cares about money, right?
That's
So I
it.
pollute that lake. I don't care. Makes me I buy another house, you know, with a nice pool. I don't care if you got clean water. That's like
exactly.
that's how corporations think, you know.
That's unfortunate, you know. And these issues are relevant. You know, this is something that we should be going against, but you know, because we're too fucking close-minded, we're fucking attacking or trying to get one over each other. It's like it's happening to us. You know, like all these fucking I said these fucking I fucking lost the words. So these fucking struggles that we're facing, it's due to our ignorance and our fucking inability to come together. You know. So
Yeah.
See, when you talk about like hip hop and shit, right? So I'm known to like myself a little bit of hip hop once in a while, right? Can I relate to the life and the stories they tell? No, because I'm born in a village in Germany, right? It's not my lifestyle, dude. I cannot relate. But like the tragedy is, and I enjoy that drill rap. I like the beats, you know. I like all the lore and the stories. But the sad thing about it is, it's pretty much celebrating the destruction of the black community, you know.
yeah,
Because what these people do is killing each other, right? And that's celebrated. That's something like to thrive throughwards, right? Because you get money and you get chicks for a couple of years, and then you get shot. You know, it's like so. I think that
and
whole
it's
thing
true.
is it's like this is like bizarre in itself, right? That the community that's already like not on the top of things celebrates their own destruction. You know, that's kind of sad, but you know,
Unfortunately,
that's
that's
how
the
it
truth.
is.
Yeah, that's the truth. Now, and I'm gonna go back to saying that this whole, because it started with the LA icon, okay, and I think it's more. It's not just him. I think there's several seeds that are I don't know, like behind the scenes, something's happening, but they're implanting these people to fucking run a rhetoric where again we could go against each other, like because for LA icon to say that he represents the whole Mexican culture, Mexican American culture in California is wrong. Okay, especially him not being of Mexican descendants. You know what I mean? He's not Mexican. So
Wait,
yeah, so why speak
Icon,
up on shit like that? You know?
Icon is not Mexican?
No, he's not Mexican. He's a
Where's he from?
Honduran. Honduras.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Along
interesting.
along with fucking American Cholo, right? Honduran.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I know he's Honduran from Honduras. Wow, that's interesting.
yeah, so let's not speak up on other
And
people's
also
cultures. That's
also
weird.
what's his name? Alex Enamorado is not Mexican either.
Exactly. Right. So I mean,
but yeah, that's the thing. People think that Icon speaks for the community. He doesn't.
right, right. You know, so I mean, instead of helping the cause, um, you're gonna go ahead and talk about somebody else's culture and not mention the fact or the reality that you're not even from the culture. So he kind of like marked us, you know. He kind of marked the whole fucking Chicano culture. So it's like that was wrong in itself, you know.
Well, you just
Um,
dropped the bomb on me. Honestly, I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. So and you know, again, well, kudos to Kendrick Lamar. Like he's awesome, you know. Like there's, I mean, fuck, I listen to fucking black artists like most of the day. I've listened to
But
Motown.
Drake buried him. No, it's just a joke.
No.
He clearly won
Don't
that
start
one.
that
He
here.
clearly won that one. But you know,
Yeah,
No, yeah, I mean we listen to oldies. Come on, a lot of the oldie singers
black
are
artists,
black, you know,
yeah.
and even original hip hop, you know, they were black, and I like original hip hop from the '80s, and you know we got a lot of rock and roll legends that are black as well. So I mean,
Hmm.
I don't,
But
man, music
yeah,
for me is
universal.
timeless, and I don't care what race.
Exactly,
that's
it's
right.
universal, and it's like an emotion that you know, like even okay. So let's say we're all sitting down, we're all different cultures, right? We all close our eyes. We're all gonna feel a certain type of way about the music that we're listening to. So we're not looking at color when it's coming through our or like transmitting through our fucking ears. You know, it's not color thing. It's just it's a soulful fucking emotion that I mean, it shouldn't even be something that anybody should claim. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Yeah,
You know,
dude.
it's
Like
a human experience. Yeah.
for me, one of my guilty pleasures on YouTube, right,
Hmm.
is there's this channel to watch like Afghanistan tribes people to listen to Western music, you know, and give their reaction and shit. And
Yeah.
if somebody who lives in a tribe in Afghanistan listens to Tears in Heaven, he can relate. He probably knows, he maybe knows how it is to lose a child, right? So
Exactly.
like
Wow.
the feeling is the same, right?
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
we can relate on that level. And I find it highly pleasing when I see other people like appreciate just art or beauty because it teaches you at the end we're all the same, right?
All the
Exactly.
So
same, bro.
you know, some people might say, "Oh, I'm Christian, I'm that like that." Yeah, because you're born here, dude. If you would have been born in Afghanistan, you would be a Muslim. You know, that's how it
Exactly.
works. And you have people that are instigators and shit on every side. They're good people, they're bad people. But at the end of the day, we all just want to be loved and we want to have a peaceful life. You know, that's
Thank
like
you.
that's the
Look at
human
Terry
thing.
fucking dropping bombs today.
He's going deep. He's going deep.
I love it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to be loved, man.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's what it is, right? We all want to fucking go to bed and have some kind of peace in our lives, you know, and you know, this is just like, I mean, I've been in trouble for the last fucking what week and a half that I've been doing this, and it's like, dude, I can't believe they said that, and fucking, you know, like I've been
Yeah.
fucking really troubled about it, and I shouldn't be feeling that way. I shouldn't feel like I have to defend my culture from this shit because it's not, like I said, it's not fucking something that's gonna benefit me, you know. Like I just can't. I just think we can all get along and just be fucking fruitful together. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I mean, I fuck, dude. I wish you would have came. Honestly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my time is up, guys. I gotta set. Well, I'm pretty much almost set up, but
Yeah.
you know, thank you
Oh
guys
shit!
for
It's
having me
4:30.
on. Yeah,
Damn.
it's okay though. Hey, you know what? Hopefully he hears this, and hopefully
Mhm.
he takes something out of it, and
Yeah.
maybe next time he will join us. But
Right.
hey, Bobby, all love. You know, you stand for what you believe in. We just
Mhm.
wanted to you know kind of understand where you're coming from and give you our perspective. If you're listening, Bobby, if you're listening,
Exactly. Much respect. Yeah. Of course.
yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All
Have a
right.
good one. Love the
All right. Take care.
suspenders. Great look.
For sure. Thank you. So what's up, Terry? What do you
Ooh,
think?
baby love having deep conversations on your panel. What's going on?
Well, dude, I'm deep too. You know, sometimes like, you know.
Yeah, well, I heard, yes. But
That sounded awful. I'm sorry, people. You know,
yeah.
Terry does that to me sometimes. Just kidding.
No, it's great. You know, it's a great
It's important.
yeah,
It's
and it's
important.
like
You know.
it's nice to have these conversations apart from the bullshit on YouTube from time to time.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So, yeah, dude. You know how hot it is over here, Terry? I am at 107 degrees right now.
Hmm.
That's why I turn off my camera because of my makeup melting and all that shit. You know, terrible. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
We
well,
like
it does
to
not
see
get
guys.
that hot here. But like when it gets hot, but also like in Germany, like air condition is not a thing.
Yeah.
So,
So you
you
guys have
know.
a good dude. You know what? You make Germany sound so fucking great. I think I'm just gonna fucking pack
Yeah,
up and
dude, we have our problems too. Like,
you're like, don't come over here.
nada. Like, so we, like every country got its problems. Like, we have a problem with immigration too, and with
Yeah.
like people from different cultures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for, for example, yeah, but but my point pretty much like is like with that whole thing, dude. If you want to come to Germany, like more power to you. Just do it legally, learn the language, and be
Yeah.
part of the culture. And
Yeah.
then I don't care where you come from or how you look or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
So
just like be a
it comes
part
down to
of it.
respect, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It all fucking it comes down to respect. Like just be respectful of other people's cultures, and just even be respectful to yourself, because it's like when you're throwing out false narratives, it's like you're kind of disrespecting yourself, because now we know that you have an identity crisis. You don't know where your origins are from. So I mean, before speaking out on stuff, like really, really, like take the time to fucking to learn what's truth and what's not. How to decipher the truth from myth, and we'll be all right. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So you too,
Yeah.
Richie.
Well,
Thank you for being here.
I think like a lot of people who are in the instigating business, right?
Yeah.
They are more interested in talking than listening, and
Yeah.
you can only solve shit if you listen. You know?
Exactly. See, like, okay, throughout the life, have I thrown on my cash app and be like, oh, come on, support the channel. Support the channel. Like, you didn't not once hear me say that shit, right? Drop my
Yeah.
cash app. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but
We're
I'm saying,
doing it now.
no, I mean the whole purpose of this life was not to fucking gain, like, for me, personal gain at all, other than just like that peace of mind that we could have came to some kind of conclusion or some kind of like agreement or whatever it is, just but unfortunately I wasn't even able to get that from that
Yeah,
person,
well,
whatever.
maybe you get it another day. For me, it's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of easy, like to give my 2 cents because I'm an ocean away, right? So
right.
I can, as the outsider, give you my perspective. But for me, it's just like it's very how should I put this? It's very disheartening to watch the downfall of America.
I
Because America is like a cultural leader, right? When it comes to music, when it comes to shit like that. So we all grow up like in the Western world and some kind of American influence, right? When you
right,
when you listen like to pop culture and all that shit, right?
right.
So and so everybody is like when you grow up, like America is like that golden city on the hill, where you're like, oh dude, America, it's so cool, they have all this cool music, they have this cool sports, they have like shit like that.
Yeah.
And I thought that too, till I visited. And then I was like,
You're like, it's not all that. Yeah.
that I was like, yeah, America's cool if you're young and you have money. It's a great country, but I don't want to have my day-to-day life there. I like it how we have it. We
Yeah.
have more like I think what I like about our system is that you are more secure in a sense, right? Like from day to day. So if I break my leg, I don't know. I know I'm not gonna get broke because like healthcare is free, right? So if I'm smart enough to go to university, I can go. I know I can afford it. So I don't need rich parents to go to a university or work 4 jobs to get me to college, right?
Right.
And like if I ever lose my job, I know I'm covered, right? So I'm not gonna be homeless and shit like that. So
Right.
that I think those social nets give you in a day-to-day life a little bit of
Like a
of
safety net.
security,
Yeah.
where like no matter what happens, like I'm not gonna be on the street or something.
Right.
And that's, I mean, we still have people on the streets, but it's like
Yeah.
there are also like mental health issues involved and shit like
I was
that.
about to say that. Yeah.
But but the system is out there to catch you. That's what I mean. Like, so if you choose like to say like, okay, I'm gonna clean up my life, so there's help out there like
Right.
immediately.
Right.
And that's and it's just saddened for me like to see like American politics, dude. You have no idea how the rest of the world views that shit, dude.
Right.
It's pretty much a laughing stock, right? And it's no dig for on Americans or whatever, right?
Yeah,
But
no, like
we
I agree with you because I like when it comes to like political issues, like I don't even have a stance on it because it's going so fucking haywire. Like like we're all praying for the best, you know, we're all praying for
yeah.
the fucking but honestly like our my in my opinion our future's kind of grim, you know.
It
It is
is,
like
I think. You know,
yeah.
and that's what Sam Hill, for example, doesn't get. Like when he talks to me, I have no problem with American people
Hmm.
because at the core, we're all the same. That's what I
Right.
believe. You know, so
Hmm.
you're just born there. I'm born here, right?
Hmm.
American politics and foreign politics. Yeah, well, I have my opinions. You know, but that
Right.
doesn't mean just because I don't like your leaders, I've been on this world enough to know that I know you only the people are only allowed to speak because the leaders know it doesn't make a difference. So,
Yeah.
it's not your fault. It's just like, how that world works. And at the end of the day, we all live the same like human condition or however you will call it. Right?
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
in different parts of the world, dude.
Exactly. And it's like I said in my last stream, right? Like we all bleed, right? We all bleed blood and we all fucking go to sleep and wake up the next day. We all came out of the same fucking place and are gonna end up
Yeah.
dead and in the ground. It's like um it affects us like everything that's going on in the world. It's really
Yeah.
it to say that we don't care. It's an ugly fucking idea, you know. Yeah. But I guess like now that we're on this side, you know, like the United States, it's like now we're looking at it like, fuck, that's fucked up, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna move
Yeah,
to
dude, it's a
Germany.
strange world. It's a strange world. When I look at the world like the last couple of years, I always catch myself like thinking like, is this even real, dude? Like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
I hear you. I hear you.
It's weird.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm gonna end it here, Terry. I'm fucking melting. Like literally, I'm sitting here and I feel like a snowman in the fucking heat right now. It's
Yeah,
fucking
no,
horrible.
a snowman in heat.
No, it's not.
All right.
It's not. A snowman in the heat. It's not
Interesting. I
like
gotta Google that. There are probably some videos.
but no, but for real, thank you so much for your input, dude. Like honestly, you kind of like left me fucking speechless because a lot of the shit it's you're
Yeah,
spitting nothing
well,
but facts, you know.
for me, it's like there's always a time and place. I like to talk
Exactly.
shit, but I can have like a serious conversation too.
Hmm.
When it's with
Yeah.
the right people. But
Yeah.
well, thanks for having me up.
Well,
It
thank
was
you for here.
interesting talk. Also, that guy with the suspenders. He's
That's
a
what's supposed to
charming
happen.
dude. But
Yes.
so you're going live later because
Ma-
I saw another one.
Yeah, this is kind of a dig at the what do you say, nautical person? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
but great talk. Keep it up.
Thank you.
I think you're doing like important shit. If you can get a conversation going, I think that's more important than the bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, I'll try. I'll try to keep going in the right direction. But thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you
no
for being
problem.
here.
Have a good one. Bye,
You too.
people.
So that's that. Like I said, I wish Bobby would have came through. It would have been a very interesting, a very helpful and healthy conversation. I think we all need the opportunity to just put our cards on the table and just see, decipher what's right and what's not right, and respectfully agree to disagree if it comes to that. So with that, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the support, and you guys have a beautiful day. Goodbye.